One of the best things you can get into right now is vibe coding. Whether it's using Fable 5, Codex or Opus 5, it doesn't matter. All you need is a good idea and the AI will build it for you. Now I've actually built 3 custom AI tools that help me with the process of AI filmmaking. Because over all of the videos that I've made on AI filmmaking, all of the generations that I've done, I've noticed that I repeat a lot of these steps. And these steps can be templated and automated using AI. For example, with my current workflow of making AI films, I spend a lot of time on working on the script and also on generating all of the assets. And this takes a lot of time. So I've written down this entire process, I put it into Claude, and I've built these 3 custom AI tools. And the best thing is you can also use them for completely free. Now the first tool will help you with writing your story and generating all of your assets. The second tool might be one of my favorites because it helps you generate a custom angle. You can move around the camera, you can choose your subjects, and then you can put them in poses that you'd like, that you can use as a reference for any type of image generation that you do, and you get better images. Now the last one is more of a cheat sheet that I use when generating my videos because it gives you handy prompts that you can make unique camera movements with. So in this video, I will show you how to build tools like these, how to come up with ideas for making your own custom tools, and I will show you how simple this process is while explaining the tools that I've made. Now, if you want to follow along, I will leave all the assets in the description down below and also in my free school community with some more in-depth sources in there. So let's build our very first tool. And to build our first tool, we need to have an idea, or better said, we need to have a problem that we want to solve with AI. So for me, the problem was as followed. My standard workflow for making AI films was a bit too long. There was too much going into it. It is ideation, creating the character sheets, creating the location scripts, and then generating these scenes. This whole process is me going back and forth constantly between Claude and Higgsfield for creating my prompts and generating my assets. There is a better way to do this. So what I did is I worked out a in-depth prompt on my issue and I run that through Fable 5, and that generated me a AI tool that allows me to do this entire process in one website. I already hear you thinking, like, how do I get started if I have my own unique tool that I want to build using Claude? Well, I've built this template of 3 questions that you can answer that will help you make your own tool using Claude. First, you need to answer, what do you want to build? So for me, I want to build a tool that simplifies my entire AI film workflow. The second question you need to answer is, why do I want to build this tool? For me, the answer is because the normal workflow is tedious. And the last question is, what kind of features do I want to have in my tool? So for me, it's 3 things. It's a script creation feature, it's an asset creation feature that organizes everything well, and it implements well with Higgsfield with the generation tool so that I don't have to go back and forth all the time. Then you copy these 3 questions, you bring them over to Claude, and then inside of Claude, you say, I want to build a software tool with Fable 5. Here's a list of questions I ask myself and the answers to them. Your job is to give me a prompt. This is kind of like meta prompting. So we're asking the AI to help us come up with a better prompt. And then you explain in depth what your tool is about. So that's the answer to these questions. For this, you don't have to use Fable 5. I would save your credits because you will burn through them really quick. You can use Opus 5. So then we hit send. So now it gives you a detailed prompt like this. What I would advise you to do is to read this through very carefully. You want to make sure that it is exactly the tool that you want to build. So make sure to revise this, make sure to change this, make sure to chat with the AI. Like, I literally use Whisper Flow for everything. I just talk to it. I just say like, hey, I don't like this idea. I want to do this. And I make a lot of revisions before I start generating. Then we will have a final master prompt that you will use to build your tool. So once you have that, you want to hop over to Claude Code. So you want to switch it here, and then in here, you want to drop in your master prompt. So let me just do that for you. Then right here, I would advise you to select Fable 5, but you can also do this with Opus 5. It's a lot cheaper. Then click on generate, and now it will start up your session. Now, this is the part that's completely custom to anyone because it can one-shot your entire idea, or it can completely mess up and then you have to reiterate, you have to make revisions. And that's kind of like what the process of this is. And it's a lot of fun in my opinion because you're literally building something custom to your needs. page. You're figuring out as you go if you like what the AI is creating or not. So by using this exact method of going back and forth with Claude and making revisions in our app, I've actually built 3 custom apps. Now this is the first one that I want to show you because you can actually use this yourself for completely free. All you need to do is you need to go to the website in the link in the description down below, and then over here on the settings you can start connecting your Higgsfield and your Claude. These are the 2 requirements that you need, and that also allows me to run this tool for free because you're using your own subscriptions. So here you want to click on connect with Higgsfield. Now it opens up Higgsfield and you need to log in using your account. So you sign into your account, then you click on allow, and now your Higgsfield MCP is connected. Then you need to do the same for your Claude. So you click on connect, and here you want to click on get a key. This will bring you over to the platform.claude.com console. Here you need to add in some credits, so I would recommend like adding in like $5 to your account. Then you can create a key like this. Then you can give it a name. Then you set a date. Like for example, you can do never, then you can always use it. And then you copy your key. So now the key is copied and we go back to the world builder. We add in the key and then we click connect. And now everything is connected. So the site itself is free to use, but you're needing a Higgsfield subscription. I will leave a link to that in the description down below, and you'll need some Claude API credits. So let me now demonstrate how this tool works, because as you see, we have 3 different things that you can do with it. First, we start off with the story. So here it will help you craft a story. It will ask you what is your story about. So then you're gonna add in your ideas right here. So I'm gonna write my story right there. Then you turn the page and then it asks you what genre it is. So for me, it's sci-fi. Then you turn the page again. And here you can add in the details of your hero. So I've already added it in there to save some time, but it will ask you everything and it will help you think of what your main character is about, what the story is about, what's gonna happen, like who else is in the story. So we're now adding in details about this guy. We're adding in details about this other character, and you can add in more and more characters. So basically this book or this tool will guide you into writing your story as complete as possible, because most people just write their story in ChatGPT or in Claude and they just start rambling and they just think of something quick. A good story consists of so many layers, a lot of different characters, different storylines, and this tool will help you build that. So now it's gonna go over who's the antagonist. You're gonna fill in all of these details. You're gonna say like what he looks like, the height, like all of that. Then we're turning the page. Where does it take place? So now we're describing what our locations are like. So for example, we have this cyberpunk space metropolis. You can add in references. Here I added in this reference of like Mars, and then it's taking these colors from it. And it's all custom built, like there's nothing like this out there. So now we can turn the page. Then how does the story unfold? You can add in more details of what's happening with your story. So I've added in these details. Then you can add in another act if you want to. And then once you're done, and you've written it out as complete as possible, you say write my script. And now based on your story, based on all the input that you've given it, it's running itself through Claude, and then it will come back with a polished version of your story that you can then use for the next section. So that will take like a minute, but after that it opens up this PDF, and here it goes in depth on your whole storyline. So you can see all the details, you can see the color inspiration, you can see examples of what everything looks like, the scenes. It will describe everything that's going on, character build, like all of that. So now you can download this PDF and then you can move over to the second part, which is the characters. And that is the second part of this tool. Now using that PDF, using your entire script, you can also start this from scratch. It will start building these characters. So it will start building what it looks like. And here what you can see is it's adding in all of these features. It's adding in the physical description. And then you can toggle this button. And I would recommend this to enhance the result. And it will take your script, it will take everything it knows, and it will write a better version. And then you can use this to generate your character. So now it's generating this using Higgsfield. So now if we go over to Higgsfield, we refresh our account, then you can see that right here it's generating that character, and that's based from here. So you have to just wait until it generates in Higgsfield, and then it will retrieve that, and you can see it right here. So now it's done generating in Higgsfield. You can see the prompt that it used. These are all like custom prompts that I used in the backend, but also based on your own story. And then if we go over to the AI world builder, we can see our image right here. So we click this, we confirm her, and then we can make our character sheet. You can either choose suggest sheets, or you can create a new character sheet, and you can choose use your exact clothing. So for this one, if you want to have specific details in her clothing or whatever, you can add it in here and it will add that to the character sheet. But either way, you can just hit generate. You can also do suggest sheets, and now it's reading the story again, and it will, based on that story, like let's say in your story there are different situations, different outfits or whatever, it will read the story and it will make you custom character sheets. As we see right now, it's already asking like what kind of suit we want. So let's say we want to have a dress uniform. We're adding in one sheet. We can also add in some sleepwear. Then we're adding in 2 sheets. And now we click generate, and now we have the prompt already. And for this one, you don't need to enhance it, but you could if you want to. And now you click generate, and then it will start making these character sheets inside of Higgsfield, because if we refresh this, then you can see that in the backend, it's now making this live in Higgsfield. By the way, the tool that's used to generate these things is GPT-2 in the backend. You can also see from here, it's using GPT Image 2. If you really wanted to, you could vibe code your own tool and you can switch this model input. But what I've noticed is that this works best with GPT Image 2. All of the generations are now done. And over here, we can now confirm if we like these character sheets. If you don't like them, you can retry them. But let's confirm them, confirm. And now you can do the same for all of the other characters that you have. So you can generate all of those, and then you have all of the assets needed to go into the next phase, which is the location. So this keeps everything organized into one place. Everything has a clear overview, and you're filling in way more details than you would normally do. By the way, on the character sheet, you can also just upload, if you were to start from scratch, you can just upload a file or upload a script that you already have. You don't need to use my scriptwriter. Now, let me go back to home, and let me now show you these locations. Now, for locations, let me quickly go through that. It already has these locations fetched from our story. So it has like these 2 worlds. We're gonna start scouting, and now we're gonna generate an image. So for the images, I use 6 images, because here we're using the model from Higgsfield, which is Sol 2 or Sol cinematic locations. So what it does, if you click generate, this is super cheap. Like this is literally like 3 credits, I believe, like 1.5 credits per generation. This is also super fast. So now we already have our location. So you select the ones that you like. For example, I really like this one. So I want to use this image. And then what we can do is we can go over to the next phase where we can add or generate more shots. I would recommend doing full coverage. What this will do is it will generate all of these different shots for you. So we generate this and it will give us the wide shot, angles, it will give us details. If you need specific shots, you can click so right here, or you can type in what kind of shot you need and it will start making these shots. You can also click this button, surprise me, and then it will add in some random assets or random locations for your scenes. Honestly, this tool for me is a life changer because it's so much faster, it's so much quicker, and it also has way more angles, way more different type of shots that I can make. Now, while we're waiting on this, let me go over to the second world, and here you can also click detailed. What this will do is it will switch the model from using the Sol model to using GPT Image 2. This will take longer, this will cost you more credits, so if you don't need a detailed shot, I would just use Sol 2 because it generates some cool shots. So here you can do the exact same thing. You can click generate and it will make different shots. You can also tweak the lighting during the day. And yeah, let's actually go back to our main thing and see what type of shots it's making. Let me refresh Higgsfield. So now all of them are done. And you can see we have some pretty cool, unique angles that we didn't even have to prompt for. Like all of that is done for you. So this feature is done with GPT Image 2 and you can look it up like what it did in Higgsfield. So you can click this, then you can see the exact prompt that's being used. You can see the reference that's being used. To me, again, like this saves me so much time. Also, all depends on how good your input is. So you want to make sure that your main reference point is a really good image before you start doing this, because otherwise you would just burn credits. Because you got to keep in mind that tools like these are probably gonna burn credits faster because you're doing it through the MCP and it's generating a lot of different shots simultaneously than doing it manually. This again gives you more speed, but it will cost you more credits. Also, these are 3 custom shots that it made from the surprise me button. Looks pretty cool. Unique shots that you can use. So that was the first tool. This hopefully will help you a lot with your story, your characters, and also your locations. Now this next tool might be my favorite because it's super simple to use and you can use it right now using my website aicameracontrol.com. It's free to use. There's no API, no Higgsfield, no anything that you need to connect in here. And what this does, it gives you camera control. So I use this all the time when I need to create references or poses for my characters. You can see this is the first character that we have, or the first subject. It looks kind of weird, but it doesn't matter because we're just using this as a reference. What you can do with here, you can move around your camera by moving your mouse. You can walk around the room using the WHSD keys, and you can also like zoom in using the camera lens right here, and you can change the shot types from medium to wide to close-ups to low angle, high angle, over the shoulder, and then appears a second subject. Then you can switch this over to bird's eye view. Here, this is my most useful feature. You can move around your character. You can change the rotation of your subject, so let's actually face them each other. Then you can make them like a standoff, and they can move around the camera. And as soon as you move the camera, it moves it for you in the shot view. If you want to have an over-the-shoulder shot, like you can do so right here. It already is saying wide shot, front, high angle. Then you can also change it a little bit. You can move the camera up, you can move the camera down. And let's say I want to have a shot like this, where I am zooming in a little bit more, and then I want to have each character with a different pose. So let's actually make them fight. So we have this pose right here. We're gonna apply this pose. Then we can change around the hands, the head. You can change it to whatever you like. I'm actually gonna reset this because I messed it up a little bit. Then we can do the same for our other character. You might have to find the pose, but let's make this guy also fight. Apply pose. And now let's make a shot out of this. So this looks pretty cool. Now, this is difficult to prompt to get the exact shot that you want. Like sometimes you might want to move the camera around, and that's like impossible to do with AI. So let me actually move back and let me get the exact framing that I like. Let's go for this. Let's see the bird's eye view. Yes, let's go for this. Then you can add in if you have details. So you can choose the model that you're using. I would recommend using GPT Image 2 here. Then you can choose the subject. So we're saying cowboy. Then here we have a cowboy again. Then you want to choose your environment. So let's go with the Wild West, and then you can change the look and style. I'm going to keep this at moody cinematic. Now here, if you have a character sheet, then you don't need to answer these questions, but if not, you can do so like this. So I'm going to actually use my character sheet because I already have my character, then click generate. And now you have this prompt that you can use. So what you can do right now is you can add in your character. So for example, I have this character sheet of my main character, then I have a secondary character, then I add in the pose reference, which is the third image, and then you gotta add in your prompt. And I still gotta tweak this a little bit, so it looks a bit different, the prompt right here, I'm gonna be honest with you, but you wanna add in the exact like image 1, image 2, image 3. I'm gonna add that in for you, so hopefully it's fixed by the time you're using this. And now you can click generate. So basically we're asking the AI to use this prompt to get this pose using our own references, and it gives you the prompt that you can use for that. Honestly, this is super powerful because it's so straightforward, it's so easy to use. You can have way more custom control, and you don't need to go into a tool like Blender. This is just live right now. You can use this easily. Like, we're in a room environment, but it doesn't really matter because all it's using is the framing of like what your character looks like. And for the poses, you can do quite a few different poses. So you can do the standard posing, you can do the alert, you can do crouching, and I can also add in more poses if you want to. So if you want more poses, leave a comment down below. I will add them in for you. Again, if you want to use this, it's AICameraControl.com. It's completely free to use. The last tool that I built that I want to share with you is actually super simple. So I made this when I ran into the issue of camera movements. There's so many different camera movements that for me, when I was prompting all of my videos, I was like, wait, what are the camera movements exactly again? Oh, what am I looking for? Or what does this mean? Like, what does a crash zoom in mean? That made me wonder, what if I can make a cheat sheet? And that's how I made this website. So this website is up right now. It's AICameraMovements.com. It actually went viral, and that's the fun thing about using AI to make these tools super quickly. So a few creators on X, someone on Instagram, all made videos about this, showcasing my tool. You might have seen it, you might have not, but hey, here you go. If you want to use this, you can literally use this right now for free. All you need to do is you need to go over to the website, and then it works as followed. So basically, when you are generating your videos, you want to add in a bit of camera movement in there. So if you want to have a static shot, a pan right, pan left, whatever you want, it will have the prompts for you. So you can copy this prompt, or you can turn this into a video, then it will go over to Higgsfield and you can use it right there. If you want to build your own custom prompt, you can select it right here. And here, basically, based on the type of shot that you want to use. Then you can upload your reference image right here, and then you can make a detail about what your subject, location, scene action, and mood is, and then it will generate a prompt for you that you can copy and put into your favorite AI video generator, or you can turn it into a video in Higgsfield right there. That is the last tool that I want to share with you. This is all again made using Claude Fable 5. Super simple to do. All I did is I connected the MCP to Higgsfield. I generated all of the assets using the MCP of Higgsfield that made me all of these different videos, and then I turned it into a website. I have no coding experience. I just have a few ideas that I want to turn into something useful, and I'm trying to build like a library of tools that are useful for anyone that gets into AI filming. So if you want to use them yourself, I will leave all the links in the description down below. If there's anything you want me to build, please let me know in the comments down below. You can also click the video that's on the screen right now, where I will show you more about AI filmmaking and how you can get into it. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.